Hey there everyone, this is Shuffle Cat and this is a Shuffle Showcase. This tournament replay here is from the qualifiers pretty early. We were just still kind of feeling out this team and seeing how we play well with each other. And of course I was playing Thorn. You can see my demonic weaponry that I have permanently equipped on my Thorn. I'm probably never going to take those out. Alright, so I started off, I saw that Harbinger was hiding behind that pillar, and I decided to try and pull him in. Didn't work out too well. This whole time, I kind of tended to be kind of entrenched in with most of the enemy team and stuff like that. Was really good for the Thorn style to kind of be like in the middle of everybody and causing trouble as much as you can. Of course, then I get a good 3 pull on all 3 of them and pull them all into my ultimate. Something that you definitely want to have. I mean, you're doing like 24 damage to the entire team. Yeah, old system, 24 old system, that's like 240 damage in the new system per tick. And the tick is, how long? It's 0.5, yep, there we are. I pretty much figured it was 0.5, but I didn't want to say the wrong number. So I kind of figured that Harbinger was going to be in the same spot, so I'm kind of looking for him. I don't see him in the middle, so yep, there he is. He's right there behind that pillar. Kind of didn't want to do the exact same thing where I pulled him, so I pulled in the Herald. Had a little bit of stuttering right there. Don't know what happened there. But managed to get the Herald to use his teleport medallion, which is really good. There goes his space. Unfortunately, I don't have as much energy as I would like, so I kind of go for the meteor instead of going for the ultimate, and that missed. Oh well. As you can see, the Harbinger, he was ultimating, so I pulled him into my mushroom spores in order to kind of CC him for as long as possible so that he doesn't have time to use his steroid ultimate. And here I have ultimate. I'm waiting for the right opportunity to use it on this Herald. Naturally, I only get to pull in the Harbinger, but that's okay too. He had already used his Nether Shift. So actually at that exact moment you saw me use my healing spores, and that was a complete misclick. I actually meant to use my meteor, and that right there was the difference. If I had used my meteor, this Herald would be dead, and it would just be a 1 versus 1 with me and this Vanguard. But because I used my healing spores instead, it turned out to be a 1 versus 2, and I don't have nearly enough energy. I don't have enough pressure to get these guys and gain energy on them. I forgot that he hadn't used his space. I miscounted his outs, so that's why I used my meter on him, but he just managed to space out of it. And right here, I'm just delaying the inevitable until, there we go, I died. So, moral of the story is when you are planning on using your medallions is to make sure that they're on on hotkeys that make absolute sense to you, because if in the heat of the moment you're trying to figure out which one of these hotkeys is my meteor medallion or something like that, and then you accidentally hit the wrong one or something like that, that can definitely cost you the game. So immediately I see that that Herald took a whole bunch of damage and he spaced away, so I just want to capitalize on that as much as possible. He still doesn't have any recovery health. He's just blowing his outs at every chance that he can get. So naturally I try and do the space into meteor combo, which is very, very useful actually. I'm trying to figure out what the end cap for that is. It's actually 0.5 seconds, and then the delay before meteor shard is 0.8. So it's actually very easy to space onto somebody, and then as the root is breaking, you can actually have the meteor land on them and cause that damage after your space roots have... Your space roots? Wow, that's kind of weird. Anyway, your space roots have taken off their damage reduction debuff. Well, I guess it's kind of like a buff. Yeah, your abilities as Thorn do buff the enemy, which is kind of ridiculous in my honest opinion. You see there, I actually shielded the the Blood Priest in order to kind of protect against the Nether Shift. And right here, I'm resurrecting this guy in order to draw him into attacking my my treacherous roots. However, apparently he's seen that had been done too many times for him to fall for that. But ideally, what that would do is you try to resurrect somebody, and when they come to stop you, you just sidestep a little bit. You have to sidestep because if you are using a resurrection medallion, you will not use your abilities right away. And right here, this was pretty tense because he got my Blood Priest so close so many times, and that one shield was all that it took to save the Blood Priest's life. And I was like on the edge of my seat right there because I didn't want to go up against this Harbinger 1 versus 1. Anyway. So going into the third round here, I've been playing around with this Harbinger behind the pillar, and every time he's gone to the same exact place. I suppose you can say the moral of the story for this game here is if you do the same thing every round over and over and over again, people are going to expect you to do it again, and then they're going to plan for it. On the good hand, as I was actually talking to a friend of mine, and he was talking about this, is if you do something and you make it so that somebody expects you to do it every round, you can actually capitalize on that by trying to predict what they will do in response to your actions the next round, and then you can kind of catch them in that habit. Since this game is about to come to a close, I'll probably exaggerate. I'll probably talk a little bit more about that subject in the second game. And here we are in the second game. To continue on with what I was talking about, for instance, say I'm playing Thorn, and we're here on Bako's grave, and say that I actually space in every round, and I space in and I CC somebody who, for instance, let me see, trying to think of, yeah, like if every round I see that inhibitor use his Wuju when I'm moving in, I can expect him to do that. And that means that I can just plain not hit him and say use an ability against somebody else. But if the next round he comes up and he looks like he's about to Wuju again, then I start casting an ability at somebody else. But instead of using that, he instead of using his Wuju, he instead uses his whichever ability it's called. It's the spell block. I believe it might be called Runic Discharge, but I'm not sure. Anyway, if instead of using his Wuju, he instead uses his Runic Discharge, he can actually spell block whatever spell that I was about to use against the other guy, because I expected him to use Wuju. And that can be a way of catching somebody off guard and doing a little bit of damage to them, and of course spell blocking whatever it is they were doing, and then using that in order to get a quick advantage on, say in this case, the Thorn. So we're going to see, also, I noticed that the Harbinger kind of hugs the left wall when he's coming in, like he kind of gets near that bridge. So what we're going to see is I'm going to try and catch him this round here, and he apparently is moving a little bit too quick. He might have, say, swiftness medallions, or speed medallions, in order to move faster than I expect him to, because he kind of moved a little bit farther than I really wanted. And right here you see that I'm trying to switch over to the Blood Priest because I saw the Blood Shield go up on the inhibitor. And also the inhibitor is using his Wuju into spacing into everybody, and right now he's pretty much has no outs. Pretty much all the time he's using all of his outs, and he could really be taken out. However, I didn't switch on him, which means that he took out my Blood Priest. So that is something there. And I did see the Blood Priest, he's already used his Blood Shield and his space. However, I wasn't in a good position in order to use my ultimate on him. I tried to do a double ultimate, but that didn't work. So that is accumulation of several reasons why, probably why we lost that round. It seems like there wasn't enough pressure on the inhibitor. He was just blowing outs like left and right, and nobody was really punishing him for that. So here, I believe you're going to see the Harbinger. We're playing this little game where I know every time he's going over into that bridge, so I'm trying to pull him in, but of course naturally he also knows that I'm trying to pull him in every time. And that inhibitor on the right side, he's always using his Wuju, so it's a little bit of a guessing game on what is everybody going to do in the first couple of seconds here. And I see, first off, the Blood Shield was already used, plus I didn't really want to get into an M1 fight with the inhibitor because my M1 was spell blocked. So I switched over to Blood Priest, but he already used his space. And there it is again. I really just want to get on this guy, and I'm trying to pull him off over here to the side where I would have the advantage, but he's not having any of that. He's just going to space over into this alleyway over here. I suppose it's more of a bridge. And right here I could get a triple ultimate, but I guess the cards weren't in it or something like that. I do quite a bit of damage to the Harbinger into a blocking an inhibitor ultimate, which is alright in itself. That death was really just a case of I spaced in, and I'm not entirely sure why I did that. However, it's okay because my teammates can just clean everything up after that. So what I should probably be doing at this point, since we're talking about people predicting what you're going to do in the first portions of the round, is maybe try to have a little bit of a confrontation with the inhibitor like that. However, he also marks too fast. I am having some bad luck with pulling people in the beginning of the round lately, or maybe just this game or something similar to that. And also I had Wuju right there. It seems like a lot of thorns start off with the pull into fungal spores, and people are beginning to expect it now, and especially because the pull was actually nerfed a little bit. Its range was nerfed down by, I believe it's like 20 points in range or something similar to that, and that is pretty huge. In the beginning of the game, you used to be able to pull people generally before they could see you in some cases, and the Blood Priest used his space, but I wasn't able to capitalize it, so I was just like, oh no. And of course there's the fear. That's another ultimate out that he can use. And right here it's really just a matter of, can we do a good ultimate combo there? Not really. It wasn't, I suppose it's because the Harbinger was on this side of the ultimate, and so was I, that he was able to use a blood grip on me, and that was it, really. If I would have been on the other side of the ultimate, or just a little bit farther up and to the left, then that would have been much better. And in general, this whole game is coming down to how much pressure can be put on the Blood Priest, because Blood Priests are, in general, pretty good at dealing with pressure. However, it's just in general, if we can 2v1 onto this Blood Priest and cause him enough heartache in order to compensate for how much pressure is being put on ours. And of course, naturally, if you do pull in the Harbinger, then you can get away with having a little bit of a fight with him, but in general, I don't want to fight with him too much, so that's why I just incap him right then and there. And I've got my ultimate. I'm looking for the Blood Priest space, and there it is. I'm going to try and pull him back in, but What happened was that I didn't hit him directly with my space, so he wasn't really in-capped for as long as possible, so he was able to start running before my roots were completely laid out, and my defiled plant was late by like a second or two. So that's why that ultimate didn't work out too well. And here you see a situation where 2 people, well actually now 3 people, are really, really low. And you have all these people, you see all of these cold team people, they're all running around doing all this different stuff. And you don't see anybody attacking one particular person. And this is a problem that you see a lot in kind of lower level games, is you see all 3 of the enemy are low, but nobody is focusing on one particular person, and that's exactly why. So in general, that was a good game because we won, but some things could be improved on, such as when a Thorn sees a Blood Priest use his space, that's the chance to get on him. And that's just in general the moral of the story. So I blabbered on too much, and I'll see you guys next time.